Hey everybody, welcome on in to Sports Live in the 215. This is your second edition of the Wrestling Ramble, Wrestlemania Night 1 prediction show. This is the Wrestlemania Night 1 prediction show, and you'll find out the results of these predictions on the Night 1 recap and Night 2 preview tomorrow. I Something that's really cool is I was actually at WrestleMania 40 last year in Philly, and just the atmosphere both nights, even though like both nights were kind of cold. Night 2 was a lot warmer than night 1. Like just the spectacle of going to a WrestleMania and it's in your hometown was absolutely awesome. Philly definitely showed out. We met a bunch of different people from all different cultures. We met a guy on the subway. His name was Joseph. He was from England. So of course I had to ask him what it was like watching Gunther in the British independent scene, because obviously he, when Gunther was on the Indies, he was known as Walter. Well, on the Indies and NXT, he was known as Walter. So that was cool. And WrestleMania on a whole was just such an awesome experience, and I can't wait to delve into the match card for both nights of this year's WrestleMania. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Um, yeah. So let me just punch in my passcode here, and here we go. Your your first match of the night will be for the World Heavyweight Championship between the the aforementioned World Heavyweight Champion Gunther and main event Jey Uso. I I think contrary to what some fans want, my brother Tommy included, I really think this is Jey Uso's night. Even though in ring Jey Uso does not hold a candle to Gunther. It's essentially his moveset, meaning Jey Uso's, is is essentially a super kick, a Samoan drop, a spear, and a super fly splash. Those are his big moves, and it's compared to a guy like Gunther, where he has five like finishers that he just uses as a regular move. So I just think the I think as a wrestling match, I think Gunther should outclass this guy, but should outclass Jey Uso. But Jey Uso has the support of the fans, so I can't see Triple H denying Jey Uso for a third time and Gunther being able to thwart Jey Uso for a third time. Um, I do, however, think that Gunther will be able to kind of mask Jey Uso's efficiencies as a performer, and he'll help him kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Advance or accentuate. That's the word I'm looking for. Accentuate his strengths. So I do think the two will have like a solid 10 to 15 minute match. Like it'll be a hot little opener for the fans in Vegas, but I do see Jey Uso finally getting his due, finally slaying the dragon, or his proverbial dragon that has become of Walter slash Gunther, um, and getting the crowd kind of feeling good to start this whole weekend of wrestling. Um, Now, match two, we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano, which is Chad Gable in a luchador mask. Um, Now, the fans of this podcast are probably the fans of this podcast know, like, I love Chad Gable as an in-ring worker, as an in-ring wrestler, but he but Triple H, ever since that story with Gunther last year, that Chad Gable had with Gunther when he was a good guy, when he was a good guy or babyface, um, and ever since that kind of floundered out, um, Triple H has given Chad Gable some really like interesting things to sink his teeth into, but it's just not that really big program. Like I thought the Chad Gable heel turn with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile would really give that character a new lease on life, but unfortunately, um, it hasn't. In the past like couple weeks, he's just been losing to a bunch of luchadors, and a few weeks ago on Raw, I want to say a few weeks to a month ago on Raw, he was saying, I need to go on sabbatical to combat the dark art of combat the dark arts of lucha libre. It's like, dude, like the you want to present American Made as like a serious faction, but if this is what I'm saying, if Triple H wants to present American Made as a serious faction, he's done nothing but kind of make them an apathetic group, just a group of people because apparently WWE needs bodies, and it's just oh that's the that's the like that's kind of the purgatory that Chad Gable and American Made are in. I do think, unfortunately for Chad Gable, his losing streak against luchadors will continue. Rey Mysterio will win the second match of the night. And for your third match of the night, it's the World Tag Team Championships between Eric and Ivar of the War Raiders and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods of the New Day. Obviously, another heel turn that got me excited in the New Day, like the way they turned on Big E and the amount of heat they had. Triple H has really just dropped the ball, and he's done plenty of good for WWE creative, but in those two instances, both with Chad Gable and Chad Gable last year and New Day this year, Triple H has really dropped the ball. And you guys know that listen to the podcast, if Triple H does something well, or if the Eagles or Phillies or one of my teams or one of the things I like does something well, I applaud it. If not, they get shredded for it. And Triple H definitely deserves as as much blame as he can get for the botched follow up to that great turn that they had, that Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston had when they when they turned on Big E. They just had nuclear heat, and Triple H really has cooled them off, and it's unfortunate to see, but I don't think the audience would really I don't think the audience would really care enough about the New Day as characters now to give them one more tag team title run, which is absolutely ludicrous to say. I just think that Triple H, again, he's really just dropped the ball. So I I do see the War Raiders and and New Day match being an entertaining match, but I see the War Raiders getting the win and retaining their tag titles. Um, the semi main, I believe, or I believe it's the semi main, or actually, my fault. We're in the direct middle of the card. My fault. Uh, it's Jade Cargill against Naomi. Obviously, back in October, it was it was um it was the setup of a storyline. Who attacked Jade Cargill, and it it ended up being Naomi. She got the she had the most to gain from attacking Jade. She got she got Bailey into the War Games match. She got a tag title run with Bianca, and now Jade Cargill is looking for revenge, and I just I think she I think she gets it tonight because um every time Naomi's gonna try to cheat, there's gonna be people on Jade's side to try to stop her. So what Naomi's gonna lose, but she's also hopefully gonna learn the lesson of, all right, I need backup. Like I'm one person going against like 4 or 5 people. Like that's just not fair. So I just think that I think that Jade Cargill wins the match against Naomi. It's by no means a squash. Like Naomi can make anybody look good, and with Jade Cargill, it's really not that hard to make her look physically impressive. Um, but yeah, I see um I see Jade Cargill winning that hold on. I see Jade Cargill winning that match. And now we will go on to the United States Championship match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Um, obviously, LA Knight's been a great U.S. champion. Both times he's held the belt. He just hasn't had that really compelling like heel to work with. He's just had Shinsuke Nakamura, um, which it's so sad to see how far his stock has fallen. I remember when he signed with WWE, and there was all this fanfare that he was gonna go to NXT and like be WWE's next big star. And when he came up to the main roster, obviously under the Vince McMahon regime, they kind of fumbled the bag, and then Triple H didn't know where to kind of pick up with him, pick up with Nakamura. So yeah, that's luckily LA Knight vanquished Shinsuke Nakamura, and now he's on to Jacob Fatu. I think I do think Jacob Fatu will win win this match with LA Knight, and he could end up wrestling Control away from Solo Sikoa because of his United States Championship victory. Um, but obviously that's a story for SmackDown. We'll see what happens with that. Um, Now we get to your semi-main spot. It's for the WWE Women's Championship. The the challenger is Charlotte Flair, who was originally supposed to be booked as a babyface, and which is a baffling decision because like she's Ric Flair's daughter. She's a natural heel. And I know I'm like kind of crapping on Triple H, but but this is another thing that he's kind of dropped the ball with a little bit. Like no one really cared about the Tiffany Charlotte storyline until that promo on SmackDown like 2 weeks ago. But um he just made the I guess it's not too crazy of a decision because she was coming back from injury. Um, but he made the decision to make Ric Flair's daughter the babyface in this feud, and I think I think this will be the time where Charlotte cheats to win. She beats Tiffany, and then Tiffany kind of has to like rediscover who she is as a as a wrestler, and she has to kind of become the underdog, which is something she's never had to face before since she's been on the main roster. Um, so I do think at the end of the semi main spot, we all unfortunately will be bowing down to Charlotte Flair. Um, and finally, your main event of night one is a triple threat match between Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, with the added caveat of CM Punk's favor to Paul Heyman being if he was in a WrestleMania main event, be it night one or night two, that he would need Paul Heyman in his corner, and and Paul, of course, had he felt like he had to say yes, and Roman Reigns is not happy about that. Seth Rollins has obviously no love lost for CM Punk, and another through line in this story is the Shield, which was the group with Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose, who's now Jon Moxley in AEW, was that it was CM Punk's idea, but he originally didn't want Roman Reigns in the group. He wanted Chris Hero or Cassius Ohno in WWE, but that's kind of beside the point. That's not really a story beat that they've gone with, but it's just something to kind of keep in mind. Um, but yes, I'm very excited for this match. I I I can't wait to see what happens. This is gonna be this is just gonna be so much fun to watch. Um, I I can't I just really can't wait for the main event of night one. I think I think CM Punk in his first WrestleMania main event ever, even though it's the night one main event, not the night two main event. Um, he will pull out the win, and it'll be the feel good story to finish off night one. Um, so just to recap before I get out of here, my my winners for night one are Jey Uso, Rey Mysterio, the War Raiders, Jade, and Jacob Fatu, Charlotte Flair, and CM Punk. All right. Thank you guys for listening to this, and as always, ding ding.